Today we are starting with our next 10 hadiths, and I am starting with hadith number 11. In this hadith, the very important topic which is being elaborated and described is focusing on the responsibilities of an orphan. The very first question which strikes us, that why only an orphan is being given so much importance? Simple, because he is a deprived person and then he lost his father. Without father means he has no sources, or she has no sources to carry on his or her life. And emphasizing on orphan means that Holy Prophet's teachings, which were to promote a balanced and healthy society. Holy Prophet repeatedly emphasized on to look after the poor, needy, and then specifically the orphans, because he was well aware that it is needed. If such people are not being looked after, or they are not being provided with what they require, it might lead them to wrong path. They might fall prey of those who might indulge them into wrongdoings, and as they have no support, they can easily involve in that. In this hadith, he said that the status of a person will be raised to such an extent which cannot be measured, which cannot be compared. Anyone who is looking after an orphan, on the day of judgment, he will stand by the side of Holy Prophet. And his closeness was described by Holy Prophet when he raised his two fingers, the middle and the index finger. That this is the area, or this is the distance between a person who looked after an orphan and the Holy Prophet. Just imagine that our religion is showing concern, love and care for those who definitely need our assistance. When we look after them, we provide them support, and then they will eventually become good Muslims. एक नबी मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की ज़िंदगी को देखिए, वो खुद एक यतीम थे और उन्हें वाकई ही अंदाज़ा था कि एक यतीम किस तरह से माशरे में मुश्किलात का सामना करना है। इस चीज़ को बेस बना लीजिए या फिर इस्लाम की आम तालीमात को देख लीजिए। हर शख्स के बारे में ख़ास अहकामात दिए गए, लेकिन जब एक ऐसे फ़र्द की तरफ आए जिसका कोई वाली वारिस नहीं, जिसका कोई ज़रिया आमदनी नहीं, तो इन ऐसे लोगों के लिए इस्लाम ने बहुत ऐसे अहकाम दिए जो वाकई अगर पूरे किए जाएं तो हमारे माशरे में किसी किस्म की गलती और कोताही का इम्कान नहीं रहता। Holy Prophet, he always looked after those who were in need, and he always compelled his companions to follow his path. Companions wholly solely followed his commands. They emphasized on and they practiced what Holy Prophet preached. And for a simple person, a reward which is matchless. And the only thing which we need to do is to take the responsibility, shoulder it, and then enjoy the reward. Not only in this world, but also in hereafter. In Quran there are a number of verses which are highlighting that how to look after an orphan. And at many places, the rights of orphans are listed next to our parents. That means their importance is being raised by mentioning them along with the parents. That when you are loving your parents, then you should know how to look after and love an orphan. Now, the next hadith. All the hadiths, they have a very different and a very important topic. They are to be They are to be emphasized on and practiced, not only to live a better life, but also to develop a better society. If you look upon the message given in this hadith, it is specifically emphasizing the leaders. And then it moves on to how to monitor the society. A very beautiful example is given. After the conquest of Makkah, when Islam started spreading, Holy Prophet started sending his representatives to different areas. And he sent Abu Musa al-Ashari and Hazrat Maaz bin Jabal to Yemen, an area where Islam was growing. People were looking for the leaders who are true Muslims, so that they can learn and they can impart the teachings in their lives. So, Holy Prophet, when he sent them as a routine, he used to give them a small booklet in which basic laws were written. And at the same time, he used to guide them, reinforce the teachings of Islam. And in this hadith, he said, show kindness, bring ease, so that the people, they love Islam, they come towards the religion Islam and they adopt it. They accept it from the core of their heart, not a surface exception. When they accept Islam from deep down their souls, they will follow it. And he made sure that the people he is reporting there are men of character. They are well versed. So, this is a teaching which is to be followed by everyone who is monitoring people, who is heading an area, maybe an estate or a state, that how he can convince the people that Islam is the best religion. Their character, their lifestyle, their preaching, they go side by side. They do not encounter or they do not condemn or reject the teachings of Islam. A person who is preaching that live a simple life, but on the other hand he is living a very lavish life. What do you think? Can anyone follow them? Or will anyone accept their orders? No. This is what Holy Prophet emphasized on. The life of companions, the early caliphs, this all is being imparted by them with full strength. And they proved that they are not only the Muslims but also good administrators and leaders. हर चीज़ में कोई ना कोई बेहतरी होती है. एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट बात आपसे शेयर करूँ कि आप ये सारी चीज़ें जो यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं ये आपको बहुत आसानी से oalevel.com की वेबसाइट पे मिल जाएंगी. लेकिन अगर आपको अपनी चीज़ों को एक बेहतर दर्जे में लेके जाना है, आपको एक अच्छा ग्रेड लेना है, तो आपको ज्वाइन करना है oalevel इंस्टीट्यूट. Okay, now if we look upon this hadith, two important things are focused. Studying of Quran. It does not only mean to recite the Quran, because the next portion is emphasizing on that recitation of Quran or learning of Quran is just being compared with a tamed animal. Because camel is an animal used here. Because they were the belongings of Quraysh. They were well aware that how to keep an camel with them. They train them and then they keep a watch on them. In the same manner, Holy Prophet said that once you learn how to recite Quran, it's just the beginning. As a duty, our task starts now, because we learn what is mentioned in Quran. Then we have to keep on revising it. keep on reciting it on daily basis. When we recite Quran on daily basis, we will come to know the meanings of Quran. We are not Arabic is not our mother tongue. We know specific words which are used in Arabic because it is very close to our mother tongue Urdu. But when we keep on reciting Quran, we know the meanings of words. And as a Muslim, we are commanded to recite Quran, learn the meanings so that you can know that what those commands are asking us to do. कुरान पाक को सिर्फ पढ़ लेना ही उसको जान लेना नहीं है। जब हम किसी चीज़ को जानना चाहते हैं तो हम उसकी इंतहा को पहुँचते हैं। और अरबिक वो ज़ुबान है जो बहुत फसीह और बलीग है। उसमें हर लफ्ज़ अपने मखारिज की वजह से अपने मानी को बयान करता है। नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने इस हदीस में इसी चीज़ को बार बार फोकस करने के लिए कहा कि कुरान पढ़ो और पढ़ाओ। पढ़ाने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप किसी को बिठा के कुरान पाक की तिलावत सिखा दीजिए। पढ़ाने का मतलब यह है कि कुरान पाक के मानी क्या है उसे भी समझाइए, समझिए और समझाइए। Holy Prophet सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम throughout his life, he not only received the verses but conveyed them to the companions, and he used to revise the recitations. He used to revise the verses of Quran number of times in front of his companions. Because when we recite something with understanding, we know how to impart that, how to adopt them in our lives. And this is the base of Islam. Not something to be spoken out or to be delivered through words, but also to be practiced. If we are not revising Quran, we might forget the main message. Or maybe we know the main message, but we forget the details. Just to reinforce that Quran is to be studied and understood with all its implementations, with all its detail. So this is what is being explained and described in this hadith. एक और बात पिछली वाली हदीस से शेयर करना चाहूँगी। हम एज अ मुस्लिम हम सब जानते हैं कि जब भी इस हदीस से एक और बात जो हमें बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट पता चलती है कि एज अ मुस्लिम हम बहुत बचपन से कुरान पाक पढ़ना शुरू कर देते हैं, लेकिन हम उसके मानी नहीं जानते। ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, कुरान पढ़िए लेकिन उसके तर्जुमे के साथ, ताकि जब हम एक चीज़ किसी और को बयान करें तो हमें उसका अंदाज़ा हो कि इसके एक किस हद तक हमें दुनिया में रहने के तरीके बता रहे हैं। और कुरान एक वो वाहिद किताब है जिससे एक छोटा सा बच्चा जो शायद बोलना भी सही से नहीं जानता, वो भी ज़ुबानी याद कर लेता है। इससे हमें इसका अंदाज़ा भी होता है कि ये अल्लाह का कलाम किस ताकत और किस अंदाज में उतरा कि इसको याद करना कोई मुश्किल काम नहीं है। याद कीजिए लेकिन उसके मानी के साथ, ताकि हम दुनिया को बता सकें कि हमारा अल्लाह हमें क्या सिखाता है, हमारा कुरान हमारे लिए क्या लेके आया है। Now moving on to hadith number 14. Again, this hadith is focusing on an attitude which is very important for the society, and it is focusing on the sales. Something when somebody is buying and then when he is demanding something, means the rules and regulations of business. This hadith is also giving us a clue that Islam teaches us all the aspects of life. It provides guidance in every sphere of life. And in this hadith, Holy Prophet ﷺ is focusing on the business transactions. Business transactions not only mean that a person is bringing something in bulk for the market. There are three different issues linked with the business. Number one, the product which is brought to the market. Number two, when it is being sold out, that means the involvement of customers. And then number three, when somebody is demanding, whether a person is demanding who is the buyer or a person who is demanding is a seller. There are certain rules set by Islam. Holy Prophet himself was a trader. He was well aware that what are the difficulties, what are the common problems faced by a trader, and at the same time the people who are getting that product. So as a rule he described, he explained that the attitude of understanding, an attitude of politeness, an attitude of at times mercy to be emphasized on for a better business, to earn more. We do business, why? Because we know we have to earn. And trade is that profession through which, with 100% honesty, we can earn as much as we can. There is no limitation for the profit, mind it. There are certain things for which we have the limitations. Until and unless a trader is describing all the qualities side by side, the defects of his product, whatever he earns as a profit is his due right. This is being given to us by Islam. The longest verse of Quran is basically about the commands and rules and regulations of businesses. So, through business, two very important attitudes are to be learned: kindness and mercy. Definitely, kindness comes when you listen and you try to cater the opponent in the best proper manner. And mercy comes when you understand the problem of the other. If you are not caring, you won't show any mercy. For example, a person is coming and he wants to buy something and he wants the best. And according to the shopkeeper, he provided the best. By the time that product is taken home and somehow a fault is being observed or a defect is being detected, now the buyer is bringing that product back to the shopkeeper. According to the teachings of Islam, he is bound to take that thing back, either replace it or refund it. But mostly we see the attitude of rudeness. We do not show any concern, neither the person who is buying nor the person who is selling. If we look at the bottom line, the responsibility is on both shoulders. The person or the shopkeeper or the businessman to describe the qualities and the defects, and at the same time the more important thing is the responsibility of the buyer, because if a person wants the best, so he needs to go through all the details. But the last point, both should show concern. They should always be polite. They should show the concern and care. Through this, the person who is the producer will develop a rapport, and the person who bought that thing from him or who had interacted him in a business will pass on that to others. Means through your attitude is promoting your business. And then a very important aspect, loans on interest. That means we must not do the business in which interest is involved. And at the same time, if we are starting a business and we are starting it with a interest-based money, how we can think that Allah is going to help us? Because in Quran it is said that interest, the people who are involved in interest-based business are at a war with Allah. Do you think we can win a war when it is now against Allah? So make sure that you involve yourself in different businesses, but following the rules and regulations of Islam. Now I am starting with Hadith 15. Hadith 15, in this, a very important attitude, rather an attribute of Allah is emphasized. The attribute of mercy. We all know that Allah is the merciful. Whatever we do, whatever we adopt in our lives, if it is wrong and we realize our mistake and we repent, Allah forgive us. Through this hadith, Holy Prophet ﷺ told the people, the Ummah, and at that time his companions, that you need to develop the attitude of mercy in yourself. We know that showing mercy means that we show our concern, we bring ease to the people, and through this hadith a very strong message is conveyed, and it is brought to the level that Allah is not going to show mercy if we are not showing mercy towards His creation. Holy Prophet ﷺ repeated this topic number of times with different words at different occasions. His life is full of such examples. Not only when he was not given the command to encounter the torture, but specifically when he was all in command. He was heading the state, and the people standing opposite to him, they were nothing in front of him. They all were brought as the defeated ones, but he set an example. Although for us, frankly to say, it's very hard. When we are in command, we want to take out our grudges, we want to take the revenge from others. But according to the teaching of Islam, this is very important. To always be merciful, to be kind, and specifically when one is in authority. And this is to be done, this is to be adopted as an attitude. God forbid if it is not in ourselves, then we need to add into our attitudes. We need to make it a part of our daily routines, because on the day of judgment, when we have nothing to impart, when we would have nothing to add into our accounts, then this attitude will compel Allah to show mercy, to forgive us, because we forgave His creation, we forgave His weak creation. When we come to different levels of our lives, and we come across different personalities, we can easily judge them because of their attitudes. A very simple example which I want to share with you. नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के पास एक दफ़ा एक शख्स आया। उसने आपको बताया कि उसके पड़ोस में एक औरत है जो बहुत परहेजगार है, और उसी के साथ एक औरत है जो माशरे में अच्छी निगाह से नहीं देखी जाती। और उस शख्स का बयान था कि मेरे हिसाब से जो परहेजगार औरत है वो ज़रूर जन्नत में जाएगी, और उसके अलावा जो दूसरी औरत जो ज़माने में या माशरे में अच्छी निगाह से नहीं देखी जाती, वो शायद कभी भी जन्नत की मुस्तहिक ना हो सके। नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने उसे कहा कि नहीं, जो शख्स वो औरत जो बहुत परहेजगार नज़र आ रही है, वो दुनियादारी के काम करती है, लेकिन वो जानवरों के साथ बहुत सख्ती कर रही है और उसकी इसी सख्ती की वजह से अल्लाह ताला शायद उसे माफ़ ना करे। और इसके साथ ही साथ वो औरत जो फ़िलहाल माशरे में अच्छी निगाह से नहीं देखी जा रही, लेकिन वो लोगों के हकूक़ पूरे करती है और जानवरों को भी अच्छी तरह से रखती है, और इसी खसूसियत की वजह से अल्लाह ताला के पास वो एक बेहतर दर्जा पाए। Just imagine a simple attitude, a loving and caring concern can bring paradise to us. We know we cannot adopt or we cannot fully implement the teachings of Holy Prophet, his attitude, the display of his mercy. But being a Muslim, why can't we start following them? Why can't we impart them in our daily routine lives? And eventually we will get what we are looking for. This all is available on oalevel.com. But if you want to score a good grade, you want to brush up your abilities, you need to join OA Level Institute. Next hadith number 16. This hadith is emphasizing on concept of unity, brotherhood. We all know that we are human beings. We are interacting with each other. In the society, we cannot live alone. We need others, one way or other. Holy Prophet ﷺ in this hadith compared Muslim Ummah as a body, in which a single part of the body, when it is affected, the pain will be felt by the whole body. But if our head, which is the brain, is affected, we are unable to move on, either because of the pain or because of that unbearable illness. Our Muslim community is just like this. If minor defects are there or minor things are coming into our ways, they might hinder in a specific task. But if a larger portion is suffering, or the main body of the society is suffering, maybe they are the weak and poor ones, then the whole ummah will suffer. We are accountable for our fellow beings. We can say an eye is another believer, and then a family or a community is the head of that area. Just to know what Holy Prophet is trying to convey. When we feel that this is to be monitored in a very conscious manner, be sharing, be loving and caring. You look upon others, you help them because they are facing problems. But if you just overlook them, this suffering will spread out. One person, then a family, and maybe the people who are close to him, they all might suffer. And then this will lead to an affected area of the community. Community is affected means finally or eventually the ummah will suffer. So we need to focus on that how to monitor and look upon others' needs and how to cater them. एक बात हमेशा ज़हन में रखिए कि हर हदीस के पीछे एक पूरी फिलॉसफी है, एक पूरा सेटअप है। एक हदीस एक बयान नहीं है, ये हमारी ज़िंदगी के नस्ल ऐन हैं। ये चीज़ें हमें राह फराहम करती हैं कि किस पे चलो, किस चीज़ को अपना के हम एक बेहतर मुसलमान बन सकते हैं और किस चीज़ को छोड़ देने से हम न सिर्फ अपने आप को बचा लेते हैं बल्कि हम एक ट्रेंड सेट कर देते हैं जो आने वाले लोगों को या मे भी नस्लों को एक ऐसा ज़रिया फराहम करे जिससे उम्मत जो आज सफ़र कर रही है वो कल ना कर रही है। Being a Muslim, we are asked to lead the people towards the righteous path, and the best way is the follow-up of life of the Prophet. Each and every hadith is giving us a path, a lifestyle, a pattern. If we follow them, we will get guidance, and when we follow them, means we are imparting it in the society. Okay, a very important topic. Basically, a basic attitude of Islam, modesty. What modesty means? If you look into the dictionary, it means an attitude which shows a person is humble, who knows what is right and what is wrong, or maybe something like this. But in Islam, modesty is when you know ins and outs, right and wrong, lawful and unlawful, the limits which are to be maintained, the lines which we should not cross. Holy Prophet ﷺ in hadith, in a very simple but very striking way, said, modesty produces but nothing but good, means develop an attitude, be humble, be loving and caring. These things are linked with one another, just like a chain. Developing an attitude and the next link is ready to be buckled in. A person who is God-fearing knows what to do and what not to do, how to treat the people. When he is coming to the treatment of people, he knows that Allah commands humbleness. A person who believes in Allah is a humble person. When he is humble, he knows that what are the limitations, where to probe, where to bow. And with this, he will eventually going to treat his family in a very proper manner. That means he fulfilled one phase of his life. After the family, now his next focus is the community. A person who is modest, who is God-fearing, who is fulfilling the duties of his family, knows what is the requirement and demand of the community. A person who is modest will be known for his qualities in the society. Holy Prophet said that Islam and modesty go side by side. In one hadith he said, if modesty is gone, faith is gone. Means a person who is not modest, have no religion, have no faith, have no concepts of Islam. So, as a Muslim, what we have to do? Simply follow the right path. Sirat al-Mustaqim, with the attitude that we are nothing in front of Allah. We have no authority. And if we have the authority, it's a portion given to us by Allah. And as we are in authority to some extent, how to cater the people who are under us. One should not be cruel, one should not be harsh. A very beautiful example of Hazrat Usman. Hazrat Usman के बारे में कहा जाता है कि उनसे ज़्यादा हया वाला कोई नहीं. नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम घर में तशरीफ़ फरमा थे. आके किसी ने बताया कि हज़रत उस्मान आ रहे हैं, आना चाह रहे हैं आपसे मिलने के लिए. नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम फ़ौरन खड़े हुए अपने लिबास को दुरुस्त किया और बहुत सिमट के बैठ गए। हज़रत आयशा इस बात को नोट कर रही थी। हज़रत उस्मान उनके पास बैठे, जो बात थी की और चले गए। उनके जाने के बाद नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम बहुत रिलैक्स होकर बैठ गए। हज़रत आयशा ने पूछा, या रसूलल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, आपके रवैये में ये चेंज क्यों आया? हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम मुस्कुराए कहा, आयशा, उस्मान वो हैं जिनसे फरिश्ते हया करते हैं, तो फिर जब वो आए तो मैं क्यों ना अपना आप समेट के बैठूं। ये वो चीज़ें हैं जो हमें एक शख्स जो उस वक़्त में मिलियनर था, जो उस वक़्त में इस्लाम के लिए सब कुछ देने को तैयार था, लेकिन उनकी हया का रुतबा ये था कि कोई इंसान तो क्या, फरिश्ते वो भी उनकी हया को बयान करते थे। Students, this is something which is very important to be inculcated in ourselves. Be modest, and you are empowering yourself. You are standing above others. You are displaying an attitude, or you are portraying something for which you will be called or remembered, not only by Allah, Holy Prophet, even by the angels. So think about it, try to follow it, and then you will see a change in yourself. Each and every hadith will bring or can bring a change in ourselves. The important thing is to follow it, adopt it from deep down your hearts. It's not something which is on the surface. This all is available on oa.level.com. You can simply download it, but frankly to say, to brush your abilities, to know more about your exams and examination tips, you need to join OA Level Institute. Now hadith number 18. This hadith is simply are the words which are poking us. They are giving us a reminder how to live. Is Islam command us to show pride? Is pride an attitude to be developed or imparted by a Muslim? No. Pride is that attribute which only goes for Allah. We can feel proud because of our good abilities, because of our achievement, but to develop an attitude of pride in ourselves are totally against the teaching of Islam. And through this hadith, Holy Prophet said that if we have pride in ourselves, which is even equal to the weight of the whole seed, we cannot enter the paradise. Means do whatever you want to do, but always acknowledge your victories or your successes as a blessing given to you because of Allah. When a Muslim has faith in his heart, he believes in Allah, he is well aware that only Allah has that attitude or that attribute, because He is providing each and everything to us, not only to us but to the universe. There are certain things which are beyond our comprehension, but Allah knows them all. So if we are achieving something, it's just the beginning. Just because of that pride, we might not be able to move to the next step. So live a simple life, follow the commandments of Allah, and always acknowledge that this all is because of grace of Allah. Effort of human beings is always there, but blessings can only, or targets can only be achieved if Allah is with us. Without the support and help of Allah, we cannot attain anything. So, Islam commands to resist the pride. Because this will sow a seed which will eventually bring a person to a level where he might be cornered. He would be left alone. This should not be done. A person should live a life which is as per Allah's command, attain a level and then goes for the next, but never feel that he did it on his own. He did it because Allah's support and help was. Okay now students, another very important hadith. Another statement of Holy Prophet which is describing that what is this world. We know this world is the place where we are living, where we are enjoying, we are passing our times, and every person is given a lifespan to be spent in this world. But this lifespan have two different concepts. A concept which is for the righteous, for the God-fearing person, specifically we can say the Muslims, and another general attitude which we are all following or adopting, even the Muslims. Two words are used, prison and paradise. The same word, the same habitat. Two people who are very powerful, but one has the clear consciousness, has the understanding of Islam, is well aware what is the purpose of his life. He will take this world as a prison for him. Prison does not mean that you are being jailed. Prison means that there are certain boundaries, there are certain laws which very consciously to be followed. And other person will take it as a paradise, means the life to be enjoyed, to avail whatever he can or she can, or to confiscate others' rights, impose your power, make the other's life hell, bitter, but enjoy your time. Do not give heed to the commands of Allah. So this worldly life is just life of enjoyment, and we know the paradise is a reward for those who are monitoring their lives, who are following the rules and regulations of Islam. And so this life period, if taken or considered as a prison, something which is to be focused and followed as per prescriptions of Quran and explanations of Holy Prophet, definitely this shorter time period of our life, maybe 80 years, maybe 100 or more, but the life hereafter is forever. दुनियावी जिंदगी कितनी है सोचिए. एक शख्स पैदा होता है, मे भी बचपन से उसको वो सब कुछ मिला या उसने मेहनत करके वो सब कुछ लिया जो इस दुनिया में एक अच्छा स्टेटस मांगना चाहता है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ क्या उसने दीन भी सीखा? अगर उसने सीख लिया तो वो लाजमी तौर पे ज़िंदगी को वैसे ही गुजारेगा जैसे उसके रब ने उसे बताया. लेकिन एक और शख्स जो ज़िंदगी को सिर्फ मज़ा उड़ाने वाली जगह समझ रहा है, उसे कहेगा कि मेरे पास जो कुछ है मैं जैसे भी हासिल करूँ और जैसे भी उसको इस्तेमाल करूँ, उसके ज़हन में कोई रमक नहीं आती कि वो कल को इसका जवाब दे. तो फिर सोच लीजिए कि इस दुनिया में अपने आप को एक हद के अंदर रख के गुजारने से आगे उसे क्या मिलेगा. एक वो जन्नत जिसका कोई नेमत नहीं. बुनियादी मकसद इस हदीस का सिर्फ यही है कि ज़िंदगी में हर तरह की आसाइश को इस्तेमाल करो, लेकिन हद में रह के, इस सोच के साथ कि मुझे इस चीज़ का जवाब देना है. मेरे पे सिर्फ मेरा हक नहीं है, मेरे पे आसपास के लोगों का भी हक है. मैं उन सबको एक मुनासिब तरीके से रख रहा हूँ तो मुझे इसका अजर आगे मिलेगा. सो स्टूडेंट्स, फॉलो दिस. live a life, a luxurious life. There is no barring in Islam not to live a luxurious life, but with the clear understanding that this world is limited. This worldly life is only a short span of time, but the life in hereafter, where we can really enjoy the paradise, the blessings of Allah, is forever. And this is the main difference between a person with awareness and a person who is simply living a life. Okay, now, hadith number 20, the last hadith of our topic. We know that this hadith is emphasizing on the person who is a Muslim, maybe, or a non-Muslim, and the way he is living his life, the way he is portraying his life. Because we know that we are human beings. Allah is our creator. He knows whatever is in our heart and whatever we are talking about. That means He knows what is hidden and what is apparent. A person who is a well-known person, who has everything in his life, but his deeds are not good. What do you think where he stands in front of Allah? If we compare him to another person who do not have the worldly luxuries, but he is a very devoted Muslim. The person who is a devoted Muslim is more closer to Allah. Holy Prophet in his last sermon said that piety is the criteria of ranking. A person who is more pious is more closer to Allah. It's not color, caste or creed because of which a person's status will be raised. It's only the level of piety. So through this hadith, this is what we are being commanded or what we are being explained, that what we need to do. We can simply live a life which is according to the teachings of Islam. Whatever we display or whatever we do is actually not something which is pleasing to Allah. The thing which is going to please Allah is our love and care towards His creation, our devotion towards the obligatory acts, our firmness in what is lawful and what is unlawful, and finally, the way we spend our time in this life. दुनियादारी वो चीज़ है जो इंसान को अक्सर राह से भटका देती है। लोग दुनिया में जैसे लोग रहना चाहते हैं, उसके लिए वो हजार हीले बहाने करते हैं, कभी जायज़ कभी नाजायज़, हर तरीके से दौलत कमाना चाहते हैं। उस दौलत से कुछ लोग बहुत अच्छे काम भी करना चाहते हैं और करते भी हैं, रफाई कामों में चंदा दे देते हैं। लेकिन सोचिए, क्या अल्लाह नहीं जानता कि उन्होंने ये कैसे हासिल किया? क्या उन्होंने किसी का हक मार के ये सब कुछ किया? अब उसे वो मस्जिद बना दे, कोई यतीम खाना खोल दे, लेकिन बुनियाद किस चीज़ पे है? वो माल जो उनका नहीं था, या वो माल जो उनका तो है और वो दिखावे के लिए कर रहे हैं। सुलेमान को देखिए, सुलेमान ने बहुत वाज़ेह तौर पर कहा गया कि अल्लाह ताला ऐसे शख्स को पसंद नहीं करता। अल्लाह ताला ने ऐसे शख्स पे अपनी लानत भेजी है जो दिखावे की इबादतें करता है या ऐसे काम करता है जो दुनिया को दिखाने के लिए है, जिसमें अल्लाह की रज़ा शामिल नहीं हो सकती। लिहाजा एक सिंपल सी बात सीख लीजिए, दुनिया में नेक काम कीजिए लेकिन दिखावे के लिए ना कीजिए। नेक काम अगर नहीं होते, लेकिन अपने आप में एक एटीट्यूड डेवलप कर लीजिए कि आपको वफादारी के साथ और दुनिया के लिए काम नहीं करना, आपको अल्लाह ताला के लिए तक़वा और परहेज़गारी अपनी ज़िंदगी में शामिल करनी है, तो सिर्फ अल्लाह के लिए। ये तमाम चीज़ें आपको oa-level.com पे मिल जाएंगी। उसमें आपके पास फ्री डाउनलोड के लिए लेक्चर्स और वीडियोस भी हैं और टेक्स्ट भी, लेकिन ये बात ज़हन में रखिए, बुनियादी चीज़ है, इन चीज़ों को कैसे आप आगे इस्तेमाल करेंगे। इन सब चीज़ों के लिए आपको ज्वाइन करना पड़ेगा OA लेवल इंस्टीट्यूट। थैंक यू।